We got a great guest coming up to you right after this quick break. Nick Trigili, IFBB pro bodybuilder, but he's kind of got away from the competing and he's into the whole coaching thing, but he's also got a very, very wide and interesting opinion about a lot of topics going on in the world of bodybuilding. So that's kind of more what we wanted to hear about him and why he stopped competing and things along those lines. But Nick is a great guest. He's got a cool show going on his own, and we sat down and spoke with him and got some really interesting information about what he's been doing and why he's been doing it. So you guys are going to enjoy that one. I guarantee it. Also, of course, our host. We would not be here without those guys. Stay right there. We're going to be back after this quick break with Nick. Like to welcome right now to MSTV, all the way from the Garden State. Well, it's not that far from us here in New York, but Nick Trigili. What's going on, Nick? Did I fuck the name up?
Hey, how are you doing? Thanks for having me.
Did I fuck the name up, or was I close enough?
No, you're close enough. You're
okay.
Good.
That's an Italian thing, right?
Better than most.
Yeah. We should be able to pronounce each other's names, but for some reason we have trouble with that as well. But Nick's IFBB pro bodybuilder, and when you first got your pro card, you came on the scene, Nick. It looked like you were like one of those rookie of the year, your prospect. You were going to go higher and higher, but you've gone in a different direction in your career, and I, for one, tip the cap to you. I think it's great what you're doing right now, and you're making a name and a brand for yourself with the whole world-class trainers thing. So just give us a little backstory. What made you decide to go from the stage to the screen, if you will?
Yeah, so for people that don't know me, I started bodybuilding very young. I started dabbling with, PEDs and everything else at a very young age, at like 15, 16 years old. So by the time I turned pro, which I was about on my 26th birthday, I was already 10 years in the game.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was a little fried mentally because I'd never given myself even like a month off, not even a week off. I was just all about bodybuilding, and I gave up my entire life for that. That's all I did. Like, I speak about how I had freedom during bodybuilding, but my life was surrounded by bodybuilding. Everything I did, I had sponsors, I traveled for them, I was in the gym 2-3 times a day, and I was extremely regimented with that. I didn't come out of that zone. And as an athlete, once you have that tunnel vision, it's kind of hard to steer out and to have like a life. You kind of just stay in that zone so you don't get sidetracked. So once I turned pro, I felt like the pressure was kind of off my shoulders now. I accomplished what my ultimate goal was, to turn pro and win Mr. USA. That was my goal. And after that, I told myself, whatever happens, happens, and I'm not going to control that after that. I just wanted to control the fact that I wanted to turn pro at Mr. USA. So if that didn't happen, then I'm not sure where I would have went. I might have maybe continued my career and maybe kept competing, maybe to reach another goal. But I reached my ultimate goal when I set out to do when I was 16 years old. So at that point in my life, I was kind of, not that I was like, I'm happy, I'm good, I don't need to do anymore, but I kind of got my fulfillment from bodybuilding. I wasn't reaching to be at the Olympia. I wasn't reaching to be a top pro. I never saw myself pushing myself beyond what I already did. Yeah. And I was already a lot. So, I have white guy syndrome. I'm 6'1". I was born at like 180 pounds. I should have been like 200, and I was competing at 270 on stage. So I've already pushed my genetics, I thought, to a pretty extreme limit. And at that point, I knew what I had to do to, get to that next level with drugs and training and everything else. And I just wasn't mentally prepared for that. So I took a year off, and then I did my first pro show because I was contracted to with Muscle Meds, and I had a contract, and I didn't want to let them down because they were good to me since day one. they signed me 2 weeks before I even competed, and they stayed with me for 8 years. So
Wow.
the last thing I wanted to do was let them down.
Yeah.
So I did my first pro show in Atlantic City. I placed well. I placed top 5, and then I knew during that prep my heart wasn't in it, and I did the show as best as I could. You know, I didn't like get lazy or anything, but when your heart's in something, it's a totally different feeling at the end. You know, and on stage, I was there, but I wasn't. You know, I wasn't the same when like I was at USA's where I was like I couldn't even like. You know, I was so excited. I couldn't even enjoy the moment. I was so excited. So
yeah.
when it came to my first pro show, I was just kind of like, all right, I'm done. Now what? Like, you know, I wasn't like in it. So at that point, I just knew like I'm not going to keep killing myself. Number one, with the amount of stuff we have to do. My body was already pretty shot at the time. I haven't taken any time off yet, and I just wanted to get into something else, but I didn't know what it was at the time. And for like 2 years, I was pretty lost. I'm not going to lie. I hit a big wall. I got pretty depressed. You know, my contract's expired. You know, and then once you're on that high note, the friends that you had coming up aren't really there anymore. The money's not coming in like it was. The opportunities aren't coming in anymore. You know, you kind of like put on the back burner in the sport because you're not like the new hot thing anymore. So, you know, the next guy comes up and he replaces you. It's just like any other sport. So in order for me to stay in the spotlight, I knew I probably had to get another contract, which that wasn't happening the way the sport was going. And to stay in the limelight, I had to be like posting every day and myself, and that just wasn't me. That wasn't who I was. I wasn't the guy like taking selfies every day and look at me, look at me. So I was like, how do I get around being in the sport like as much as I can, but not competing and making a living? I mean, it was like, I didn't think there was actually a possibility. So it took me 2 years to get where I fast forward to where I am now with the website. I got back in the car business. I was making money to pay my bills. I wasn't going to slack on that department. And I saved up enough money in order to quit and say, okay, I got like a 3-4 month buffer. If this all shit hits the fan, and I got 3-4 months at least of money to live, and I can figure something else out if it doesn't work. So I said to myself, okay, let's take the opportunity now and do it. I like to help people. I want to launch this site. I've been game planning this for like 6 months now. So let me do the release of this site. Let me start getting people excited. So I started the Facebook group, and that kicked off. I had like 3,000-4,000 members within a couple of weeks. Just helping people on there for free. I knew this was my angle, and whether or not it was going to work and I was going to make money, I wasn't sure. But I knew that there was going to be a possibility there for, people to understand me, want to listen to me, and I knew at the end of my career that there was definitely like a missing piece to our sport, that the ambassadors weren't like there for the younger guys coming up anymore, like Jay Cutler was, and Ronnie Coleman, all the other guys. And I didn't want to be that pro that just kind of eliminated myself from the scene and never came back. I wanted to be in the sport still. I just didn't know what my angle was. So once I saw there was a hole, like a loophole for this whole industry as far as coaching goes, from somebody that's actually been in the competitive shoes, turned pro, like lived the life, instead of just being like one of those coaches that comes out of the blue and coaches people. He never really was in the sport. I knew that people probably could relate to me more, and so I knew there was definitely an angle there. I just didn't know if it was going to catch on as quick or as good as it did now.
Yeah. And what age were you when you actually decided that you were done competing?
So it was it's funny, all my shows were around my birthday. It was in June. I was 28 years old. That was my last year competing.
Okay.
So it was June 4th. It was the last show I did. And, that was Atlantic City Pro. It was like in my backyard. So,
yeah.
But that was like I got an eye opener too. Like I competed against Branch Warren, Cedric McMillan, like all these crazy
some big
top
boys.
Olympian guys. Yeah. And I realized I was standing next to them and I'm like, fuck, man. Like I'm big. Like I'm a big dude. But when you stand next to them, it's just like, I got a whole other road to go down. That's another 10 years away to even be like, I feel like to be even stand next to those guys. So it's different. You see pictures, you see how big they are. But when you stand next to them,
very impressive, these guys. Yeah. Especially contest ready too, and you're backstage. So. Oh wow, that's a cool dog, man.
she's my little my teammate throughout the day. Keeps me going.
What's her name?
That's Sophie.
Hey, Sophie, welcome to
She's
the
a French
program.
bulldog.
Yeah, yeah. Very cool. And so how old are you now? Like, how many years have you been doing just the training?
I just turned 31, literally, a couple weeks ago. But I've been doing the world class trainers now since February, so it's only been a couple months.
Yeah, yeah.
But during those 2 years, I spoke about it a couple times, not very much though, and I hit a very rocky road. I came off all the hormones, and that was the first time in my life I ever came off anything. And I hit a very, like when I say a wall, like I mean a serious. I was bedridden for like 3 months. I think my body went to shock because I was off everything.
Sure, fuck yeah.
And so I hit a very rocky road in my life, and then your friends that you thought were your friends aren't there anymore for you, and I got on anti-anxiety meds, I'm on Lexapro and stuff like, you work so hard for something and now you're going to go into something totally different that you've never done before. It's nerve-wracking, and
Sure.
I understand when I see athletes like go into this depression after they quit sports, basketball, football players, they don't know what to do with themselves.
Yeah.
I do, because I'm like, I did something for so long and that's all I was doing pretty much. I had like, personal trainer jobs and stuff like that, but bodybuilding was my life.
Sure.
And,
yeah.
I gave everything to that. And all of a sudden I'm like, okay, now I'm going to make a right turn. And like, I didn't know how to even live, like get up and like do normal guy stuff, like go to work, like just wear dress clothes every day, come home, go to, eat dinner, like it was. And then going to the gym wasn't even fun anymore because I felt like there was no purpose anymore.
There was no goal. So, yeah.
And my whole mind was a mess at the time. Like it was very hard to adjust. It took me almost 2.5 years to get back to being happy again. And people sound like I think that's crazy, but the first year, forget about it. That was just coming off everything, and my body was adjusting, and I was also teetering. Like, should I go back? Should I do it? Should I go back? Should I do it?
Yeah.
So I was still eating like a bodybuilder and trying to train like a bodybuilder because I was so afraid to lose the size, and I'm like, what if I want to do this again? I worked my whole life to get this big. Like you start juggling a lot of stuff in your mind, and it's hard just to be like, okay, I'm going to go do this now. Everyone thinks it's very easy, and that's a very hard decision to make.
Oh, I'm sure. And especially you said you started juicing when you were like 16, so your natural hormones were shot for all those years, and now you went off cold turkey. Well, it took a while probably.
I came off properly, and it was fine. And then the first 6 months, I was totally cool. I was like, oh, I feel great. I don't know what happened. That like 7th month, all of a sudden it was like, whoa, like I was like, I don't know who this person is anymore, So that's when the whirlwind of shit hit me.
I can understand. I could see where you're not sure of what you're doing now. Okay, did you make the right call? But I think in your case, you made the right call because you said you're gonna have to do massive amounts of everything. And it's gonna fucking kill these guys. It's just not safe or it's smart to do that shit.
No, and I really enjoy people. Like I like to go into the expos. I like to be around people. Mm-hmm. As you can see, I like to talk. I'm a good communicator with people.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. And I was like, how do I apply that to something to make turn it into money? At the end of the day, like everyone's like, oh, it's all about money. I'm like, yeah, it is all about money. Like. There's nothing you can do in this world anymore that's free, Mm-hmm. Everything costs money, especially where we live. It's very expensive. Forget about it, So I was like, at the end of the day, like I want to stay in the sport, but I need to capitalize on doing something. I can't sell supplements. I'm not going to bullshit people. Yeah. I want to truly be there for people for something, but everyone's like, oh, just go be a coach. But it's like, how hard it is to build up like a roster of people that want to pay you every month. Like everything that happens overnight. Mm-hmm. And then I got into it, I guess, because, I know very well, like the coaching aspect of our sport has fallen to shit too. Like everyone's a coach now. Yeah. So everyone's on Instagram is announcing they did one show, they're a coach. So I'm like, what's going to make me any different than any of the other people? They're going to trust me more. Mm-hmm. But I guess because of my track record and I was always a stand-up guy, I never bullshitted people. I tell people what they don't want to hear, and I always had that approach, so I think people just they responded to it and they got attracted to it. So as soon as I said I was a coach, like it was insane. I'm not even bragging or blowing up smoke on my ass, but I never thought in a million years this many people were looking for a coach. And even my friends that coach, they're like, dude, I've never seen anything like that. And it just happened. It was like it was meant to be that I went down this road. So
Yeah.
I don't regret a damn thing, you know. And even if I wasn't making the money I am and I didn't have the reaction I did, I still am so happy and I'm doing everything I like to do. And I love what I'm doing and I'm getting so much out of it. I wake up every day excited again. And I get that fulfillment I had when I was competing, you know?
Yeah, yeah. How many clients do you keep at any given time?
So off-season people, it's very different because they don't require as much attention, and I can handle a lot of them because check-ins are less frequent. So as far as prepping people, I only have like 3 people at a time, 4 people at a time doing shows.
Okay.
There's many different programs I offer people. Like if they want month-to-month coaching, I have X amount of them. I cap it off. There's people that don't need that attention, so they're on a different program. But all in all, I've signed up 240 people so far in a couple months. So it's been very, very good, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely.
But I tell people, you know, every program has its customization to you. Like it's going to tend to what you need, not what I need, you know? So I'm not just here to take your money and not tell you to go fuck yourself. You can't talk to me, you know? Like a lot of these coaches do like, oh, you only allowed 1 email a week. Like, come on, man. Like, you're charging a couple $100 a month. You can't talk to you. What's the point of having you?
Exactly.
You know, they can Google their answer if they want. They don't need you.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
You got to be there for people. That's number one. I noticed. Like that's the thing that's separating me, I think, from the rest of these coaches. Like I'm a text message away, a phone call away at any time, and a lot of these coaches don't allow that. They don't even give their phone numbers out. And I think customer service with this is the number one thing that keeps people around. You know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially you went through this, you know, when you're in that prep, especially right before, you may have a really important fucking reason to get a hold of your guru.
Yeah.
You can't
gotta be there.
Yeah, you can't be fucking grasping for this guy and he's not there. But you seem to do more than just the coaching because you've become like a media personality. And to me, that's the best part of, I think, what you're doing. I think it's really cool because you got fucking balls. You go right out and say it. You don't show favoritism. You got the Generation Iron gig. You got your own, YouTube channel. RX Muscle, there's a thread with you on there. They keep posting all your videos. So you're getting out there, and you're getting out there really like in a fast method. What made you decide to not just do the coaching, to do this video stuff as well?
Well, I feel like, obviously I know there's obviously a decline in the amount of money people have and the amount of information that's out there. So I knew if I can come up with income, with the coaching, I could support the media part. And that's like kind of like my fun time to like just kind of like let loose, talk about all the stuff I want to voice about and be like a leader for them, in that aspect, because no one's grabbed it by the balls and just said, here, this is what goes on. This is what happens. Either take it or leave it. This is what you have to sacrifice. This is what you have to do. Everyone kind of like tiptoes around that, no matter who they are. No one that's ever been in the sport ever just goes, hey, man, yeah, it does. It takes this. It does. Yes, you have to do that. Eventually, you might have to run into that road and might have to do that, So no one's ever done that. And it bothered me coming up that no one told me half the shit I had to go through to get to the top, politically, drug-wise, work, playing the goody card, like sucking up to the right people and playing the political thing, and just being you too. That's number one thing about this whole sport. Like they can smell shit too. Like they don't want you that fake guy around them sucking up to them. So there's a happy balance with all that, and that's one thing that no one talks about. And for some reason they think it's like this golden information. So I kind of just went out there and spit it out, and I was like, listen, this is what goes on, and you guys need to know that. And then the media part, I needed to, this is going to sound kind of like cocky, but it doesn't mean to come off that way. I like being in the limelight. I enjoy that. I like
nothing wrong with that at all, bro.
Yeah, no,
so me too.
I like the attention, and I knew that was a good way to drive traffic towards my coaching business.
Absolutely.
If I came out and said, hey, this is what goes on. I'm going to tell you the truth. I've been there. I've stepped in the shit before. And I knew people would be attracted to that. Instead of hiding behind the computer, only posting pictures, only posting my coaching results.
Yeah.
I wanted to be out there in the scene and keep that Like I had the limelight when I was coming up, so I wanted to keep that going as far as another angle. So I figured media was the only way, and YouTube and videos are only getting popular. They're growing by the day. So
Yeah.
I knew to gain traffic fast, that was my only way.
Mhm.
It's fun. I enjoy it. Like I love doing the podcast with people and doing videos and just talking and being myself and not, giving them false information, just being genuine, and people attract to that.
Yeah, no, well, I totally get you on that one, man. I mean, I'm here in the studio 5 days a week, recording, doing live broadcasts, constant video production. That's the direction that this, not just bodybuilding industry, media as a whole in general is going into. You mentioned a few things that you said people hate to talk about, obviously sucking up to the right people and stuff. Did that part of this game really fucking burn your ass, that you gotta fucking blow people? It's, well, to me, see, that's why I get in trouble with the federations, because I always said this is fucking horseshit and came right out and spoke about it, while the fucking pussy Ron Harris's of the world fucking hid behind all of that shit. So did that completely burn your ass as a fucking guy that broke your ass in the gym, and you felt differently about certain things?
Well, there's two sides of that, because I turned pro where I wanted to turn pro, and I'm not salty about that. So I'm happy that that all happened for me. If that didn't happen, I'd probably be a little more pissed off. But along the road, I only did, like, I'm gonna be honest, I only did the bare minimum. I didn't want to like be that guy showing face in Bev's gym every week and calling Steve to look at me and going to see Maz or John Kemper or Jim Mannion, and like I just didn't want to be that guy. Like I don't want to be the guy that knows get rewarded because of that. I want to be rewarded for my hard work. So yes, I gave them what they wanted, and that was to pay attention to them, listen to their point of view, get their constructive criticism, and that's it. And I took it and applied it.
Yeah.
I didn't go there and argue with them and tell them I'm the best guy in the world. I said, what do I suck at? Tell me. And I was just like, just lay it on to me, and I want to know. And that was it. That's all I used them for. They're like, you need more of this. I said, okay, come back. Yep, you need a little bit more of that. Okay, and then, no, you're there. You're good. Just show up in shape. Okay. So I used it to my advantage almost. Like I just got what I needed out of them, and I left. I never was the guy that was like at every event. I never was like, oh, can I work at every event for free? Can I do this for free? Can I do that? Can I just be here? Can I be involved? Like, They smell that shit. They know the phony people from the phony ones. So I just wanted to be in there enough to show that I cared, which I did, and I really did want to be Mr. USA. That was my goal. I wanted that role model. I wanted that platform.
Sure.
And luckily enough, they didn't smell shit for me. They knew I was like an honest guy. I was real. I wasn't trying to just suck up to them because.
Yeah.
And another thing too is like being with a sponsored company. Everyone's like, oh, you get first dibs when you get first call outs and all this other shit. So that just made me work harder in the gym. I just trained harder because of that. I was like, I just want to blow people out of the water when I get on stage and be the best me so they can't deny me,
Yeah.
I tell all my clients that too nowadays. Like, if you show up like the best bodybuilder on stage, they're not going to say no. The politics only means so much at some certain point. They can't not reward the best guy on stage. Hey, listen, if it's close between you and someone else and you're a piece of shit and they know that, you're probably not
losing.
You're probably going to lose because you fucked up along the way. So that's where it really matters. That's why I tell people, just push to the whole nother level that doesn't even matter when it comes showtime, And obviously that's going to be limited on your genetics and everything else. But I just mean, like, just don't rely on that. You can't play the political game and expect to be handouts. They don't do that. They really don't.
Yeah.
Like, listen, if it comes down to like Phil Heath or Kai Green and you fucked a grapefruit and he didn't, he's probably going to win. I mean, it just, like, they're not going to have that as their role model as the Mr. Olympia. It's just, they can't do that. It's just, as much as they want Kai Green to win and he's the nicest guy ever, I was with him forever, it's not going to happen. They need a solid, the sport's already got a bad rap. The last thing they need is to have that,
Yeah.
They need a clean slate.
I hear you. Do you catch any flack now because you're open and now you don't have to worry about being scolded down?
I haven't heard anything yet. But I think if I go to a show or something, I'll probably get pulled to the side and like, I'm sure they're gonna say something eventually because they all have my phone number. I haven't got a text message yet. I mean, I'm waiting for like that one video that's probably gonna set them off, but I'm only helping them. I'm not hurting them. And I said this a lot in a different podcast, and I'm gonna keep saying it so it gets out there that they need to start incorporating some type of seminar that explains the stuff I'm talking about coming from the top. Have ambassadors that go around the country and talk about drugs and everything else and educate these kids that it's not all about drugs, you know?
Yeah.
And these kids are just going to start dropping dead. And it's going to start happening. And then they're going to be in the target, you know? And I think if they did that and they raised some awareness, I think the sport would be a lot better off. I think it would only benefit from it, not get hurt from it.
Yeah, I think everybody's so taboo with it, especially because it's illegal, quote unquote. You know, I mean, it's legal with a doctor's note. I mean, we all know that fucking game. But I think it's just like, don't fucking tell anybody anything. Keep that quiet. But like you said, everybody knows the story with that anyway. So if you're going to be looked at as a guy that's going to tell your clients the truth and not jerk them off, that's obviously a big fucking part of a discussion. Anybody that's going to get on stage, girl, guy, any division.
Yep. Yeah. No, I think it needs to be done. I mean, look at what happened to Dallas. I mean, Rich Piana wasn't exactly in the sport, but
different circumstances.
But there was a resistance. But Dallas, I think, is a very, very good person we can learn from. And I know it sounds really bad because he died, but that's like an eye opener for a lot of bodybuilders.
It should be. Yeah.
He was 26, 25 years old, and I knew him on a very close level. I knew what he was doing. And I objected to it, and I told him all the time, like, as fortunately I used to say to him all the time, like, you're going to have a bad day one day. I don't want to even use the word. And he'd be like, oh, come on, you're crazy. Steroids don't kill people. And, it's not the steroids that kill people. It's what you're doing with the steroids and pushing your body and taxing your central nervous system. And I say this all the time, like, the steroids can be really, really, really good, positive thing in your life until you abuse it. Mm-hmm. And there's no other drug you can say that about. Like, you can abuse weed, you can abuse Adderall, you can abuse alcohol, you can abuse cocaine. Like, all those drugs are not good for you. Yeah. Steroids can be good for you in the right element, for the right person, for the right reason. They can give the person a lot of self-confidence. You improve your physique, you can get healthier from them. And that's the only drug that does that. And if you go to the dark side with them and start abusing it, there's going to be repercussions to pay, as we can see already. There's going to be many more like that. It's only the beginning.
And the insulin use is, to me, that's fucking insanity right there. I mean, anybody that's playing with that shit,
it's bad.
I shake my head at that.
Especially the people that are advising it. They don't even know, black from white. They don't know shit about it. They're just like, oh, my boy did it this way, so do it. And there's no real advice from that or educational piece.
No. If you use insulin and you are not a diabetic, you will become one. So these guys, if they do live past their 40th birthday, are going to be diabetics for life by fucking with this shit for all this time. So I don't know. I just I find that to be kind of I think they just it's not just the sport. I mean, I think a lot of people are doing different things that they shouldn't do in this sport and outside of it. But how did the Generation Iron thing come up? Because I think that's really fucking cool what you're doing there.
So about probably I think the year I was coming up to do USA's again, I think it was 2014. They wanted to do some type of sponsorship with me. And they wanted to do like a video series, like a radio show, because I was very open at the time as well. Yeah. And I was willing to actually, what I'm doing now, but on like a little more, like probably not as R-rated, probably like PG-13, as filtered. And I said I was willing to do it, and I said, just let me turn pro and then I'll be all balls to the wall. Yeah. So we were going to start that show like a couple months before our USA's, and then I turned pro. But we never came about. We had a bunch of meetings. We had almost signed contracts, and then some other things came up. And they always been in my back pocket. They're good people. The guy Vlad's got a good heart. He's not out to hurt anybody. He's just trying to make money too, and sell media and everything else, and create awareness with the sport. there's a lot of stuff I don't agree with that they do too, but there's also a lot of stuff I do agree with. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to 100% agree with everyone does anyway. It just is what it is. So they were like, they hit me up after the video I put up about how to inject properly, and they're like, "What are you doing? Don't you want to compete?" And I was like, "No, if I did, I really don't care. I never competed. For USA, it was my only show where I was like, I have to win. Every other show, I just did it because I wanted to do it." And they're like, "Well, aren't you worried about your career? Are they going to hold that against you?" I was like, in my mind, I'm done anyway.
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about doing the shows, and that was like one of the first pieces I wanted to do. And they're like, "Well, will you come on here and talk to us? And can we start setting up some videos and maybe in the future get something going again?" And I was like, "Yeah." So they're like, "Let's see how the feedback is. Let's see how everyone reacts to it. Let's do like a couple part series, and then let's release that, and then we go from there." So that was the first piece we did, and we have a couple more set up to do. So we're going to see how it takes off, and then just kind of take it from there. But I like what they're doing. I mean, I'm not like, their videos are kind of like, they're not like the best, but
Yeah.
I get that he has, like, this is just 1/8 of what he does. Like, he has a real serious media company.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
This is just like a little project he does on the side because he likes bodybuilding. But I'm actually, this is actually new news that no one even knows about. I'm not going to say much probably, so it's probably the only place I'm going to announce it. But I have a crew of people that we're going to do our own little small film about bodybuilding. And it's going to be like a very mini documentary about a bunch of people I have in the industry that want to do it with me. And I'm not going to reveal names yet or anything. We're going to get it mostly filmed, and then I'll kind of do the release. But I'm working on my own little thing that I think will really, really raise awareness and get out there, because I can only reach so many people with what I'm doing with YouTube, my website. And the only way to really get it out there is get like a Netflix or like a Showtime and I have the right person behind me to get into one of them. And I have a pretty close deal going. So if I can get that platform, then I can like really, really escalate all this,
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm hoping to God that it goes through, that we're almost there, but I think it's going to happen.
I hope that happens, and we'll talk between now and then, obviously. But we'll promote it with you, and and get that fucking thing out there, because that's cool. Because I know it's not going to be a bag of shit, because you're a straight up guy behind it. You're going to be doing it the way I would enjoy watching it. That
like
type of stuff.
Generation Iron, like they did it, but they didn't do it.
It's kind of clean.
They kept it very clean cut, but they're in Steve's pocket. They can't push it too far. Like they all get kicked out,
Yeah.
So,
but the thing with them is professional production value is fucking great. Very impressive the way they do their videos. There is no slacking at all. They don't cheapen out. So I got to give them credit.
I really like the stuff they do. So that's why I'm supportive of them,
Yeah.
But it just sucks to see that, Muscular Development was like one of my main sponsors growing up, and now Bleckman, he's off the map. Like there's literally nothing. It's Flex is off the map. I heard they're going Muscle and Fitness now or something.
Yeah. Well, they actually merged titles. It's Muscle and Fitness, and there's a 50-page section which is Flex. It's not 50 pages editorial. It's 50 pages inclusive. So it's figured there's 30 pages because there's ads in there. I worked for both of those companies, MD and Flex. So I finally got the muzzle off when, I do my own thing. I can say what the fuck I want about the pricks.
But, like Bleckman, like when I was with him, he wanted to be like the hardcore, whatever the fuck he wanted to call himself. And every time I had a column with them, I'm like, I would write my article and he would like, no, take all this out. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing then? Like,
I know the feeling, bro.
Why am I here then? If you're gonna edit my whole entire article, just write it for me at this point.
Why? I'm shocked that you even wrote it. I thought fucking Songbird Harris would have been doing it.
Well, listen, when I negotiated my contract, I had a lot of clauses where I was like, no one's writing my words.
Good
like,
for you.
No one's ghostwriting my shit. No one's writing my spreads. No one's doing shit. Like, there's no way I'm putting my beliefs out there in Ron Harris's words. So they used to try to. There was a couple of times though they slipped it in there where there was things I didn't say, but luckily it was never anything that was like influence people to do stupid shit. But that was one thing I had a major issue with the magazine, just fluffing shit up for people and lying and that's one thing I didn't stand behind. I hated that shit. That's why I lost my contract, because they got pissed off, and then they were holding money on me for like 6 months. Like, they were holding paycheck. So then, then I got my lawyer involved, and he paid me immediately. But, that's how Blackman is, though. He's a little scumbag.
Oh, bro. I worked in office, so I was on site less than 2 years, but during the years of 2013 and most of 14. It was just shy of 2 years, probably. Right. So I saw some things that I fucking, I already had my own company was been around since '08, but I kept it as a side gig. And I needed real money to get a regular job. So I worked originally with Flex, and then I went to MD. And every time I saw things, I would say, okay, this is what I won't do for my company. So I'm seeing things that more than what I should do to be successful, which I shouldn't do to be successful. And so I'm going to mail you a couple of our magazines, and you're going to see the difference right fucking away. I know magazines are kind of yesterday, but you can catch the flavor of what's going on. And,
of course.
Lee Priest, Boston Lloyd, those are two of my columnists. So it's a total different game from what those guys out there do.
I wish magazines were still popular, because
Me too. I'd be making more money.
I mean, I'd like a tangible item in my hand to read. I'm not big an internet reader. I like
same.
I print stuff out and read it, as stupid as that sounds. I like to hold something and read. But
me too. Yeah, I'm totally with you on that, dude.
It's a different time.
Yeah, but see, that's why the company, I'm focusing more on the video aspect of things, because I realize the way things are. I don't have a choice. I have to act. I got to acclimate and adapt, or else I'm going to sink. So,
right.
But I still do the magazines online, free to read, so you can read it on a cell phone, which is fucking nuts if people read articles on phones, but I'm still doing the paper, small print run, just because that's my thing. I like to keep that for myself even. But man, it regurgitated, recycled, repurposed fucking garbage, fucking drivel is what they're doing with a different cover shot, and sometimes they even recycle covers, believe it or not. I've seen that at my MD also. Same photo. 2 years later, you get the same photo. So with my magazine, I try to do more of the talk about steroids. Talk about I don't give a fuck who won the fucking contest. Let those guys can talk about that. I talk about the adult part of the female bodybuilding scene. I talk about the steroids, and you'll see, it's fun. It's a lot more fun than what you used to.
Real information, not the bullshit that they want to.
And it's entertaining as well. I try to give back to the readers a lot. I put them in the magazine a lot, a whole section with their pictures. So there's a lot of synergy between my sponsors, my readers, and the people in the company. So we try to do a little different than the corporate flex, and then the bullshit fucking rip you off MD, man.
Yeah, no, I know.
So you were calling Denise a million times too for back checks.
Oh yeah.
Let me tell you something.
I don't know. I felt bad for her just being in that position.
She is a great person. I was very friendly with her, and obviously, it wasn't her fault. She had to wait for him to sign him and deliver, to her. But man, she had her fucking phone was nonstop.
I can't imagine. I mean, I called enough to be annoying, let alone everyone else probably looking for a check.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. I was working there. First, I was freelancing for them. So I used to get the checks kind of late, which I freelance for a lot of magazines.
Yeah, that's how it is, though.
That's fine. I can understand that. But I was working for them on site, 40 hours a week, 10 to 6, Monday through Friday. I was in my 6th or 7th month before I got paid for my last freelance job.
Jesus,
I was getting my regular pay. They didn't, I got my check every week or every 2 weeks, I forget now. But they still owed me a couple of $100 for a fucking free. I think I did George St. Pierre cover feature or something for the fitness magazine.
I remember when they let Dina go, and
fucking zero, bro.
And I was like, oh wow, it must be pretty bad over there, if they let her go, because she's been there since dirt,
Yeah, she and I didn't get along too well. I think she had a little to do with my fucking firing.
Yeah, well, it seems like a lot of people really didn't get along over there. I mean, that's what yeah.
Listen, that fucking prick did me a favor, because I haven't had to work for somebody else since then, and that was 2014. I'm doing this
It's a
fucking
blessing.
thing. Oh, fuck yeah, man. Shit worked out. That day I was mad, but then once things rolled over here the right direction, all smiles.
Yeah.
So let's get your plugs out. I want to make sure everybody gets your sites, your social media, so they can contact you and get you on board as their coach.
Yeah, so my Instagram is Nick World Class, and then the website that I have all my packages on is www.wc-trainers.com. I also have a forum on there. It's $9.99 a month. I got me and another pro, Dominic Cardone. We're on there 24/7. I have over 100 videos of my own on there, and then Dom is starting to upload his. All educational pieces. Just talk about everything in between bodybuilding. Everything. There's training videos. There's me talking. There's about steroids, how to cycle, everything. I mean, how to work out properly. And then my YouTube is just under World Class Trainers. You can see that. I have a bunch of podcasts on there interviewing a lot of top people in the industry. And, and I put a couple educational pieces out there, but YouTube has deleted a couple of them already.
Yeah.
So
They're a little tough. Yeah.
I have to be very careful what I put out there now because I don't want my channel to get shut down. So everyone asked me to put more on YouTube, but I'm not allowed to technically. So
that's what you were saying in the interview with Vlad. You're putting them on your site.
Because everyone's like, "Oh, you're gypping us. You want to just get money?" I'm like, "No,
they won't
already
allow
deleted.
it. They
deleted two of them already, and I don't need them just deleting my whole channel after I work so hard.
I hear you on that.
I don't want to deal with that. So I just walk the thin line. I do what I can on there, but
yeah.
I wish I could put everything out there for free, but that's not the way the world turns.
They're getting tighter too. They're getting tougher.
Yeah, so I don't even use YouTube to make money. There's no money to make on that thing. No. So everyone's like, you just want to make money. I'm like, it's not about money. I need you to guys. The media is for me. I wish I could put all those 100 videos out there for free because I would probably have
more clients.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
sure.
Just get more my information out there, but I have to keep them private hosted. If not, they're gonna be banned. There's nowhere I can post them for free and not get any static from it. They don't allow that stuff.
No, definitely not. So this is a guy who's been there, done that. Nick Trigili. Check him out. World Class Trainers. Check out his videos and his Generation Iron program. So you're going to be seeing him. And hopefully you'll see a lot more on MSTV as well, bro. Thank you so much for joining us today.
I appreciate having me.
Thanks, man. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Wrestle.
Crystal Wildfire Anthony. Today I want to talk to you guys about porn. Jack off material. So, porn, me having sex completely naked. I watch porn. My husband watches jack off material. Porn. I am all for it. Honestly, get paid to have sex with somebody for everybody to see. It's out there, guys. Do it. Girl on girl porn, girl and guy porn, having sex with men on videos, whatever. I am willing to listen to business deals. I would love to do videos like that. If you guys know somebody with deep pockets, I'm always open. Sex with men, porn, hard and long, a lot. And put it out there for free for the whole world to see. Wildfire out there banging guys on video. I'm not gonna lie. Thanks guys for stopping in.
Check it out. We're going to be at the Olympia September 13th through 16th. This, you know him from the sports shows and the Philly Fit Expo, is Keefus.
Hello.
He is going He's going to be joining me in sunny Las Vegas. We're going to be doing Sin City Hard.
I can't wait.
So,
First time.
His first time in Vegas and his first Olympia. So we're going to have a lot of fun. Definitely let us know, just like we did last year. We're going to be holding court at the Orleans Arena, Host Hotel, Alligator Bar. That's where all the female bodybuilders go and wait for their schmoes to get session offers. So, of course, we're going to be sitting there. Where else would we be? We'll be doing Instagram live shows from there. We'll be doing some videos for MSTV. And we got to make sure Keefus is welcome. We got to make sure he's got enough alcohol in him and he's got enough eye candy to see around.
And enough IVs for the morning after.
But we're going to have a lot of fun. Thank you once again, of course, to Darren Manahan and all the guys at Old School Iron, the title sponsor of our Olympia coverage. We're going to have to leave it there. I want to thank Nick Trigili once again for joining us right here on Muscle Sport TV. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Never miss an episode. Weekly quality content right here on MSTV. We'll see you next time.